Hey, how's everybody doing today? My name is Ricardo Cordu. I want to welcome you to day number 13 of the Welcome Me Challenge. And so we're here today, and I'm just finished working out. So I want to come on real quick and talk with you. You asked, hey, Ricardo, what is the Welcome Me Challenge? Basically dedicating 30 minutes of some type of exercising, whether you're walking or swimming like I've been doing, for 21 days straight. And what's been happening, I've been coming on, just dropping some nuggets, with the hopes of something that I say helps improve your life. Some things that you maybe can use to really apply it to your life and see a change that you've been looking for. And so we've been on this kick where we've been talking about how, what successful people do to grow. And so we've been covering a lot of different things. And so today, what came to mind was go or leave where you're tolerated and go where you're appreciated. And so that's a big thing. Go where you're appreciated, leave where you're tolerated. And what I've noticed is most successful people, they have endured a time in a season in their life where they were in an atmosphere of being tolerated. Okay, dealt with irate bosses, dealt with abusive coworkers, been in bad relationships where that person or that organization just did not appreciate you, right? Or you could have been in a community where it just seems like no matter what you were doing, the money that you desired, the things that you were pushing for and working for, it just didn't seem like things would come together, right? And so at some point, and so when we talk about this massive action yesterday, and we talked about, doing assessment, these assessments are another way of you being able to understand, what kind of atmosphere you need to be in for you to be most effective, because you'll start noticing that. Okay. And so what happens is when you begin to focus in and lock in and work on your abilities, your skill sets, whether that's speaking, becoming to speak better, whether it's learning a new skill set, whether it's learning how to make effective relationships, build different relationships and communicate with people more properly, you start assessing that thing and you start looking and seeing the kind of communities that really need what you bring to the table. And so I'll give an example of just me being down here. I moved from North Carolina probably about, now it's going on 2.5 years now, or almost 3 years now. Man, time is flying. Ago from North Carolina. And where I was at 3 years ago, I was a part of an organization. I really was a part of a organization that loved me and cared for me. I cultivated my skill sets. But personally, I was just in a bad place where it was time for me to do something new. And so, with much discernment, much prayer, I just one day I just felt like, God was telling me to move down here to Georgia. And, where I thought I would end up in Georgia, that door closed and I ended up somewhere else. And as soon as I began to be in that area, this area down here, things started happening. The focus, all the skill sets and all the diligence and all the prayer and all the things that I'm doing now, I was doing 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But it just seems like where I'm at. We talk about being in the right place at the right time. We talk about timing is everything. We talk about being in the right posture and always being ready. I joined a community that was ready for somebody like me to come in. And so, sometimes, I look at that, the scripture talks about, I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and staff, they comfort me in the day before me and my enemies. There's some things that I remember about being in the valley. That in the valley, when I was in the valley, I really, really focused in on my prayer life. I really focused in on how I was speaking with people, how I talked to people, how I communicated with people. I really started reading books and listening to people who were doing things that I desired to do more. And I feel like it began to prune me. It pruned some of the bad habits it prunes some of the not only the bad habits, it prunes some of the weight off of me, off my shoulders, that I realized that I had to begin to give to God more than I was trying to control everything. I realized that I was trying to control everything instead of letting God guide me and show me the way, right? And so as soon as I began to do that, God told me to move, and I moved. I did not stall. I did not stutter. I just left. And, my community, they were shocked. I will be honest with you, they probably were disappointed, but they know me to be a man of God, and they know me to be somebody who just uproot and just leave and not do things like that. So, in the end, they had to trust it. But then now they see the journey and all the things that I've been through and see what's happening where I'm at. And they're just like, man, you can't say you didn't hear from God, man. You can't say that you didn't hear from God. So, that I wanted to say that because, you can be in an area or a community where you have people that you love and care for, and they love you and they care for you, they got your back. But you have to pay attention also to what's happening in your surroundings, in your community that you're doing. If you're bringing something to the table and you keep changing it, you keep adjusting it, you keep going back to the table, drawing board again and redefining yourself, and keep redefining yourself, and then you go somewhere else and you don't have to, you can be yourself, then that's a clue. That's a clue to let you know that you're being tolerated in a certain area. Now it's time for you to go somewhere and be appreciated. Okay. And so I know it's hard to say, it's hard to gauge it, but it's an internal desire. It's a research desire. It's a meditation desire, and things have to line up for you. And sometimes you just have to go. You have to jump. You have to walk out on faith and do the things that you need to do. Even though it might be challenging, just know that the work that you're putting in right now, it was worth going to a place where you are appreciated, okay? And so that is the end of day 13 Walk With Me Challenge. So, if you don't get anything else, please take the time to assess if you're in an area or part of an organization that is just tolerating you, or do they really appreciate you? And so I want to end on that. And I just want you to really focus in and think about that today as you exercise for your 30 minutes, okay? All right, love y'all. Bye-bye.